So I did have a question as well about Kundalini Yoga, because I know you practice that as well, and
I do,
you've
yeah.
held some, is it like seminars, or how are those, is it seminars that you hold, or is
Yeah,
it like
well, I do workshops and
workshops? That's right.
retreats and yeah, different settings.
Okay, so could you describe Kundalini Yoga? Because a lot of people might even think that's like some sort of smoothie because they don't know what the
Yeah,
heck Kundalini is. So
it could be a great smoothie
it
actually.
sounds like
Fruit
it could
smoothie
be.
game.
There'd probably be some like kale in there, I'd imagine.
Definitely. Yeah. Kundalini yoga, it's hard to describe. It's a very kind of holistic form of yoga. It involves breathing, so pranayam and mantras and asana or physical postures. So it's instead of like, certain types of yoga are very asana based or very breath based or um, Kundalini yoga really has a pretty strong balance of all of these different aspects, and also a pretty strong balance between the physical body and doing things with your physical body and a more meditative practice.
Hmm.
So a class would almost be like half and half of physical asana and then a relaxation or shavasana and then doing really a lot of meditation. So I've I've really loved being a part of that practice. I grew up with Kundalini Yoga because my mother is a Kundalini Yoga teacher. Um, and the practice has really served me a lot over the years, just as a way to maintain all those levels, really the health of my physical body at certain moments has been especially important. um, it's interesting. Kundalini Yoga has all these different kriyas or different sets of exercises, and each of the kriyas is for something different. So if you're dealing with something really specific, you can go to a yoga set that's for the kidneys or for healing the spine or different topics, whatever that is you're looking for.
Hmm.
And
So
there
is
are
it, sorry, is it
no, go
like a
ahead.
way of opening up blockages, say, so that you have a kind of a free energetic flow throughout the body? Is that you can focus on a specific area that needs healing?
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of the sets would be kind of through moving in that way, like opening up, and often they'll kind of start at the bottom of the body and doing exercises to loosen things up and move any blocks, and then slowly working their way up, so that you're not just like meditating, constantly trying to be in a perfect state of peace and just live in those like upper three chakras. Um, we all have the possibility of falling into that
Yeah,
of
yeah.
trying to be like ultra high and not deal with any of the mucky stuff.
Hmm.
But I think that's one reason I really love the yoga sets or the kriyas, because it's just built into it. You do each of the exercises, and they are pretty balanced in that way that um, you don't just hang out up in
Right.
the
In the clouds or whatever
trancy
it may be.
space.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And I find like a lot of that's sort of the extreme end, is the people that are up in that space all the time and they're all just walking around, like it's almost I think it's important to sort of be in the world in a way as well, in order to just function on this level, on
Totally.
this plane, and also in order to actually meet people on this plane, and then maybe help bring them up to those other planes, those other planes, and those other
Yeah.
spaces. Because I find some people, they are just too much head in the clouds all the time, and it's like, hey, come down, meet me here.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially when I'm sure you experience it a lot too, with a lot of people that are involved with kirtan, and people that go to the concerts and everything like that, which is understandable, I'm sure. It almost reminds me of people that tend to do a lot of psychedelic drugs or tools. They have different tools that they like to use to escape.
Hmm.
It's almost to escape what, like it's like to escape what. It's almost I feel like when I was speaking with Lama Surya Das not too long ago, we were talking about great naturalness, natural great perfection, and seeing it as it is, and just sort of seeing that heaven on earth sort of thing as you move about. The second you open your eyes in the morning, you should just have that wakefulness, in both senses of the word wakefulness, and awareness. And I think it's important to have that and not just sort of walk around, again, head in the clouds, because it's hard to communicate sometimes to those people. And I find that tends to alienate, those people alienate a lot of the people that are very not there yet, you know, and it creates a separation where I think that, you know, there's a nice middle ground people could meet at. But hopefully, again, conversations such as this will open people's minds and perceptions to, you know, alternate ways of expressing themselves and being with others. And,
yeah, totally. Yeah, I think anytime that you have that feeling like, oh, I've found the thing that works, and if only everybody else could find this great thing, I think that's the moment to really like turn the mirror around and look at yourself, because that, I think, that is a tendency in spiritual practices to feel that, you know, one practice is kind of above everything else, and it could just help everybody, and that kind of alienating thing that you're talking about. And
I think it just creates more separation, when I think that the whole point of the whole thing is unity, right? So I think it just creates, you know, oh, I do this practice, I do this practice, I do that practice. Like, well, they all lead to the same general understanding.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think just paying attention to our own way of being in spiritual practice and spiritual community is really important, because I've found spiritual practice to be really helpful, and meditation and yoga practice to be so helpful. And then also I feel that it's really important to have those balancing other balancing factors in life, like really maintaining your being an active person in your community, and, you know, keeping on top of your money or your whatever it is, you know. What good is it if you've got this beautiful space in your mind, but you're walking around so spaced out you're bumping into people? You know, I think it's really important that we be engaged in our world. And if we really, you know, a lot of the things that I think spirituality teaches can only really be practiced if we are grounded as well as expansive.